Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand to receive the Town Mayor of Biddle, Councillor Ken Harper, the Deputy Town Mayor of Biddle, Councillor Michael Yates, and the Chief Officer, Mrs. Sarah Hayden. I call on Reverend Will Drain to offer a prayer for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
It sounds like you've got a full agenda, and certainly prayer is needed. I agree with you. Bless you all for being here. So I just pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for each of these councillors, for each person here, for their commitment to this town, to this council. I pray just an abundance of blessing upon each of them this evening, upon their families, upon their homes. Just bless them in their conversations and guide them. And would you bless this town? In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Bless you. Thank you.
I believe you want to say so.
Donny speaks.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to very briefly congratulate our Mayor, Mr. Ken Harper. He has now got himself a Lady Mayoress. Last week he got married, and now he's a happily married man. I'd just like to tell you all about that. So now he hasn't got a consort, he's got a Lady Mayoress to go everywhere with him. Congratulations, all the best for the future.
Thank you. Go on.
Well, I just wanted to congratulate you on your nuptials, and I'm assuming it's the post. My invitation didn't land. Congratulations! I wish you a long and happy marriage, Ken. All the best.
Thank you very much, Kev. And again, thank you very much for the.
So, firstly time not with Cheryl, congratulations.
Yeah. So can
What's your name?
sit down and get.
Why I came back tonight.
Sorry, I was supposed to be something.
You did not bring me up and tell me this news. So I'll have words later.
Come out of the house already.
Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting has been recorded and will be uploaded to the Biddle Town Council YouTube page. The aim is that decision making should be transparent and in the public domain, which will involve all of our community and local democracy. By being in this council chamber, you are consenting to be recorded and for your image to be added to YouTube. The images and sound may be used for training purposes. Any views expressed by the speaker's own do not necessarily reflect the view of Biddle Town Council. Please view the guidance on recording in public meetings policy if you need further information. Thank you.
Right, we'll kick off then. That one is number 109, public participation. We do have a lady who wishes to speak to us, Louise, where are you?
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Right. I've seen you earlier on. For those who are not familiar with this, the speaker has 5 minutes to speak. The reason that is that we have to progress the meeting. So Louise, if you could, we have a chat already.
To address everybody. It's going to be a very quick, I've done a pre-recorded meeting, so I just wanted to cover all the points really. Some of the neighbours and residents of Halls Road and Biddle were very concerned about some incidents and road traffic accidents that have been happening over quite some time. And we're looking to you to implement some traffic calming measures in the area. So it's just really putting our case forward to you, starting to have that conversation about it and take things forward. Right.
Just going through a very short presentation, just to explain why we as residents of Halls Road feel that there need to be some traffic calming measures put in place. So we are residents of Halls Road, and which is the location of Halls Road playing fields on the Biddle Valley cycle route. The area is very popular with families, lots of dog walkers and cyclists. And it's in the catchment area of several local different schools, so lots of different children walking up and down. After a series of accidents in this area, we need your help to create traffic calming measures along our road. I'm just going to go into a few of these incidents that have happened over the previous few years. But I'd just like to point out here the proximity of Halls Road, and there's actually the cycle route actually crosses over the road. So obviously there are lots of cyclists that have to cross over the road if they want to continue on the Biddle Valley cycle route. So the latest incident happened just outside our neighbour's property and outside our property. A car lost control and damaged the wall on Halls Road. This happened on the 15th of March. It's right when the children were leaving school. You can see here the extent of the damage really is very extensive. And luckily nobody was in their front garden at the time. It also damaged a street light that was in danger of toppling over onto the electricity cable, so the police had to wait outside until this was rectified. Unfortunately, this isn't the only incident that's happened along this stretch of road. You can see here at 51 Halls Road on the 20th of February in 2021, a car came from the other direction and actually spun round and damaged our neighbouring property's wall as well, and that's quite considerable damage. And this is just really, you can see here the other wall in the background there, so similar incidents has happened in very close proximity. Unfortunately, that's not the extent of the damage that's been done over the years. 67 Halls Road in 2020, a car crossed over to the wrong side of the road and damaged the curbstone there. And that is right beside the Biddle Valley Way, you can see that. Again, on September 2020, another incident happened on 66 Station Road. A car mounted the pavement and damaged the pedestrian access gate. And we don't know the exact date, but approximately 2017 on the corner of Linden Drive and Halls Road, a car mounted the curb here and demolished the telephone box. So you can see a pattern that's building up here with quite substantial damage that's been done to property. Unfortunately, nobody as yet has been injured. Just to run through some statistics, Staffordshire has nearly 6 billion road miles has been travelled in Staffordshire in any year. And nationally, 63% of all casualties happen on urban roads. And obviously this road is an urban road. Looking at the statistics though, what surprised me was that actually the most accidents happen on urban roads where vehicles are travelling between 21 and 30 miles per hour. So this says to me that it wouldn't matter actually if, because most of the accidents happen between the 21 to 30 miles per hour bracket, we need something more than actually monitoring people's speed. A systematic review that I've looked into in child and adolescent injury prevention concluded that traffic calming in 200 small areas contributed to a 70% decrease in child pedestrian injuries. And it also reduces miles per hour done by motorists by 9 miles per hour. So in conclusion to all this, the level of incidents, the amount of incidents in such a small area, we feel that traffic calming measures need to be implemented along this stretch of Halls Road to prevent future accidents from happening. We might not be so lucky next time. We need to act now before it's too late. Thank you for listening.
We just jump up in the front again. Have you any questions?
Declaration of interest.
Councillor?
Thank you. My partner lives at 67 Halls Road, where the accident occurred, so I better mention that. And it was her wall that was hit.
Councillor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I think that all of us got the utmost sympathy for what's going on in the area, especially in the Halls Road area. But realistically, it's a job for the police, even though we're very sympathetic. We don't have control over speeding cars as much as we'd like to do. But we do need to pass this on to the police. I'm not sure if they still use a mobile speed awareness camera. I'm not sure. It used to be 2 lines across the road, but I think that's a bit old fashioned nowadays. I think they fasten it to a lamppost to monitor the speed of vehicles. I think we need to push for that to get an average. It's not the answer, but get an average of car. I've lived in that area many years. I know there's issues. I know there is. And on that junction, I've asked for a stop sign for there for a long time, which we're getting nowhere with at the moment because the cost of it after its own. So things do need sorting out in that area. But unfortunately, it's just down to the police, even though we'd all like to do something, but we haven't got the power to do so.
That's really interesting because we have put that to the officer that was on the scene and they said it is sort of a council issue.
Yeah, but not as much as we all care, it's not a town council issue. Highways are county council.
We're invited to come along and just to basically.
Oh, no, I understand what you're saying, Anne. I'm glad you have come along and we want to help and support in pointing in the right direction.
There are 2 members themselves that we've spoken to one gentleman. I need to have a conversation with you as well. And it's mainly just to raise awareness. That
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Obviously, we need to take it forward because
Yeah. Time at school time.
at the end of the day, if something's going to happen, isn't it? So,
My granddaughter passed there within minutes of the accident. She could have been walking there at that time.
well, do you want to tell, I hope you don't mind me pointing it out, do you want to tell them what happened?
Yeah, my husband Mark had just picked our grandson up from school literally 15 minutes before, drove the car, because it was our property that was damaged on this occasion.
Yeah.
Drove the car onto the drive and that my grandson was in that garden 15 minutes before that accident.
That's,
Which doesn't bear thinking about.
no, it doesn't now. I understand fully. They understand.
My friend here, we should say something as our county councillor.
Yes, you probably won't be county council for that area. I certainly am aware of the issues on Hall Road. And what I will say, as a resident who lives pretty close, because I live off Smoker's Way, my wife and granddaughter actually went down that road with me in a pushchair. Literally 20 minutes of that accident happened. In fact, they went down to the Barnes Halls Road. When they turned around, the accident had happened. So I am very much aware and very much supportive of actions to taken. Now, words are cheap, so I'm able to back up those words. What I've done, I brought my visual highways for which council fund is well aware of, and on this we get a very meagre fund which allows us to do research as much as anything to back up what would be a capital request for work to be done, because there's not a pot of money unspent waiting to do these things, so everything has to be done on an evidence base. There's 2 things outside of this I've done. One is I've asked for the speed data which was done around about the year 2020, the previous councillor, and I've also asked for updated accident data. I was hoping that would be ready for this meeting. If I couldn't miss, I've chased up, but it isn't. But what I have done is I've rearranged for a new up-to-date speed data check to be done, so that we can monitor both the volume of traffic flow, because if there's an increase in traffic flow, then obviously that gives more evidence to support actions, and also the speed of traffic flow. I will say in these instances is that both of these drivers must have been breaking the law. And at the end of the day, reckless actions, I don't believe there's any such thing as an accident. It's a dangerous event which could have been prevented. And if people were driving to different conditions and driving to the speed which is there would not have been an accident. However, the other things which have been initiated, and you can see a big red line there because that's being prioritised by, is we're keeping a traffic calming actually slightly outside of the area, but affects people coming up the hill. And that is to actually create a pinch point and a footpath, because there's a footpath missing and it's very dangerous to walk up to the town centre. At the Gilshore Bridge, which is in Vic, And the feeling is that if you reduce that to one lane, one carriageway, with build outs and appropriate signs, that forces an almost stop to actually slow the speed which continues up, because there is concern about people taking that too fast and sliding across, you know. The other thing is, there's another action which is again being fully funded for investigation, and that is the improvements to the Station Road and Old Road Junction with proper lit signs and extra roundels and things in the place. And you will notice that what we have been able to do outside of these initiatives is improve the actual white lines on there to make them clear, and maybe an additional colorations being put in there to help that. And further work is being done, council inquiring if traffic gardeners are still in this location. So, and that's been requested as an assessment. That was on the 3rd of the 10th last year. So that's actually in the process, being evaluated. And I've had an update which says it's possibly a priority for 24-25, which is the next financial year coming. So obviously, you know, as soon as I get the data, we've got to make sure it's supported to meet the criteria, which I'm sure it will be. Then obviously I've got to speak to the responsible people in the highways county, both of which I may add are now Staffordshire Moorlands District Council councillors as well, within Staffordshire Moorlands. So hopefully I'll be pushing against an open door, but that is against the severe restraints which we've got on funding. And I say that not as a defensive thing, because I'm an opposition council, but I make noise down in county. So I'm not saying that because that's the reality of local government funding. But what I want to do to reassure you, and hopefully I have gone some way to reassure you, is that these things, look at this piece of paper, you can see the data, you can see everything which I'm working on. There is an emphasis on, there's an emphasis on two areas. Biddleford New Street, because we could have had the same presentation from there, and this particular junction, because you're absolutely right. We've got the crossing point of the Biddle Valley Way. We've got Halls Road Recreation. We've got a walking route to school, although it's not a very safe walking route to school. And we've got one road leading to quite a significant settlement of Biddleford. It is an absolute pinch point. But rest, I want to assure you that, you know, as a county councillor, and with support of plenty of people in this room, there's councillors in this room who've canvassed as well, but be pushing against an open door, is that, you know, we are very much proactively working on it. I was so devastated at the being another accident, thinking that, you know, this is already in work. Why can't we sort it up?
With regards to the pinch point, that's a good idea. But some of these incidents have happened coming along the other way, and it's the Biddle Valley Way that's going to get that sort of. And so obviously there's people in this room, and we've seen children running into the middle of the road and cars coming out. And so if there is going to be some sort of measure, I think it needs to be from both sides, really.
If we can just come back to this, it's a multiple approach.
Yeah.
There won't be one thing and walk
Yeah.
away. It becomes a package. I mean, we're very supportive of 20 mile an hour zones, to be perfectly honest. You know, there's less support elsewhere, but we're very supportive of those. And, you know, the whole area 20 mile an hour zones are a lot more cost effective than little bits here and there, whatever, but that's another story. But this one, the headings all the good ones, the station, let's be sure it's a whole solution.
Right, thank you very much for that, Louise. You know, 500 councillors we'd like to speak. But can I ask these councillors, have they got anything new to say? Because I think Nigel's come out with a fair route. I think it's covered on everything, quite frankly. And good job you've done, Nigel. So if you've got anything new, fair enough. But if it's just a rehash of what Nigel said, can I ask you to on the stage? So I'm a job to singing the sun in my eyes. So I'll go back onto that end of the council, and then this will be closed down. And Jim and Sandra Foreman, it's new stuff. Yeah, first.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think I sympathise and understand. What I'm going to do is propose that we actually put this onto the agenda of the next duration of the meeting, so we can actually have a proper discussion There have also been a number of other ideas have been brought into place in terms of other things that could be done in terms of facilitating the slowing down of people coming out of the gates off the Biddles Valley Way. So I think we can sort of have a full and frank discussion, inviting people to come to that meeting so we can discuss it properly. We don't have the opportunity to do that here. So I propose that we put it on the next Recreation and Amenity Committee agenda, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if for the proposal, yes, General, you're seconding it, yeah? If. That's right. Andrew?
Yeah, Chair, I've asked the police on a dozen occasions if they would set up a speed check on Wedgwood Lane and Halls Road and Station Road. And they keep telling me repeatedly the same thing, that there is no public place that they can actually set up, which makes it very difficult because they won't use private land, because the premise is that some driver might decide to take it out on the landowner. So that's the reason they won't use private land. But being a frequent visitor to Wedgwood Lane, Halls Road junction there, crossing the road, you take your life in your hands. The number of times I've lost count where somebody's come across on the wrong side of the road on a mobile phone, only meters away from knocking you over. I couldn't count the number of times that's happened. And residents there do take their life in their hands crossing that road. I could say that.
They just say that my wife is obviously in a wheelchair and we
Councillor Jones?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I really applaud you coming along with the strength and feeling that you brought along tonight. But if we're going to put this on record now, Councillor Garvey, are we going to invite the people from New Street as well, and the people from Dorset Drive, and the people from Park Lane, and all the other areas in this town where we've got exactly the same problem? I don't think that's the way forward. We have no power. We have no power in this chamber to put traffic calming in. Be under no illusion, people. And if you've been told that we have, you've been misled. This is a county council issue. The county council has it already on his radar, as does the other county councillor. And I don't honestly see the point in wasting your time coming along to a recreation and amenities meeting where we can talk about it for another hour or two, but it won't give us any power to do anything. And if we are going to do this for yourselves, and I'm not saying it's not important, it is a really important issue, as is New Street, where I live. You know, people come past my gate at 60 miles an hour. You know, so it isn't just your road, sadly. There's several. We can't make, especially, we're going to invite you along to Reckonham. We've got to invite the lot, Mr. Mayor. All of them.
I just say though, I wasn't invited. I spoke about how I could put this forward, and I was told about this meeting. So I wasn't invited to come along. I actually investigated it and thought, what can I do to bring this forward to the attention? So I wasn't actually invited to the meeting.
Right, thank you. Jared?
Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you for coming along. What I would like to suggest is if the relevant council is responsible for that particular area, if the details are passed along, and perhaps we can do a site visit and speak to residents in a bit more detail, find out what their ideas are, and obviously liaise with Nigel at county, and go from there really. But thank you for bringing it to attention.
Jill, you've got that.
Sorry,
There is something we can do, certainly something that I can do. I've just launched a Biddle football group, and I know that part on Halls Road on a Sunday, my son plays there, is horrendous. I do think we could probably investigate on a Sunday a bit of park and ride scheme, so perhaps encourage car sharing, people to park on the car park on Wharf Road and then drive up together, so we've only got one car perhaps going up to Halls Road. I do think that that's something we could mention to parents. So there is things that we can do as a town council. We can't change the structure of the roads, but we can point you in the right direction. So it's good that you've come tonight because our county councillors are both here. But we can definitely signpost you to other organisations. Some of us are school governors, so we can speak to the local schools and make sure there's some education in schools about, you know, road safety and things like that. So we haven't got kids dashing out into the road. So there's absolutely stuff that town councillors can do. So thanks for coming along, and we really support you and hope it gets sorted.
Alan, you want to speak? Can I make Alan last week?
Yeah, just a point of interest, with Speedwatch, the corner of
Station Road and Halls Road was risk assessed for speed watch to work there. So I don't see why the police can't use that.
Good comments, but we're on camera. Yes, we're going to propose on a second. Do we have a vote? Let's go for the amenities committee. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Hands down. Anybody who's against? Abstentions? Right. 4. Okay, thank you very much. So thank you, Louise, for coming. Yeah. So you stop the rest of the meeting and listen to us walk along.
Oh, goes down. It's on bottom. It's over, it needs to
Doesn't mean we're not going to do the other one.
All right.
Yes.
Really sure. They're going down. They were. They slowed the traffic down.
Right, the next item is on it starts. Please, please, come on forward. Face the barrage.
No pressure then at all. Good evening, I'm Lucy French from Biddle, and this is my colleague.
Sorry, I just wondered if we could suspend standing orders for this item, because I'm thinking that it might go beyond 5 minutes due to the issues that have happened in the town over the last few days. And I think if there's any time we suspend standing orders to warrant a discussion, this item would be it. Thank you.
That, Chair.
Right, that's a proposal of second. And have a vote in favour, please. Well, that's carried. Right, standing orders are now suspended.
You've got more than 5 minutes to be good.
Yes, 30%. Don't be shy.
Oh, no, I'm very shy at the moment.
Well, it's true, I mean.
My reinforcements. Okay, so I'm Lucy French. I work for Biddle Neighbourhood Policing Team, so I work downstairs. I work with activities to discuss. I do have a few figures for you that a colleague has been able to get for me. So within the last 3 months, there have been 9 incidents of burglary in Biddle that consists of residential and also business crime, which has resulted in a 31% increase compared to the previous 3 months. And 33 incidents of burglary have also occurred for our serious and acquisitive crime. Theft that includes theft of motor vehicle, theft from motor vehicle, also the burglary of residentials, burglary business, and others. Within the last 3 months, there have been 51 incidents of what we call staff-related crime, which is actually a -4% decline compared to the previous 3 months. There was 218 staff-related incidents that occurred across Staffordshire Moorlands during this time, more so in the Cheadle and Leek areas. And with regards to antisocial behaviour, in the last 3 months, there have been 36 incidents of antisocial behaviour related to Biddle, which has resulted in a decline of -39% from the previous months. There have been a total of 160 incidents of ASB across the Staffordshire Moorlands within the last 3 months, 36 out of 160 in the Biddle area, 58 out of 160 in Leek, and that remains with 66 out of 160 within the Cheadle.
Okay, what's the detection rate? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know what's there that's happening to things.
It's useful there. That's not, you know, I'd be quite interested in the detection rate.
I don't have that information. If I can find it, I'll get it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Just a point of information there, if you don't mind. I'm pretty sure when we had the presentation, only 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That the detection rate was running at 16%.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it was a police presentation, the community awareness at district council. So it came from,
Lady, who's the deputy, Karen, yeah, inspector.
So it's 16%.
Yeah, it was. Of crime that's solved, so out of every crime that's reported, only 16% is solved.
Is that just a bill or is that?
It's not.
So I'm not, quite frankly, I'm not interested in the week or anywhere else, just interested in bill.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean to sound a bit nasty, but you know, we're bill councillors, we're looking at it. So, you'll live on the figures.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, yeah, regarding the 3 incidents in Biddulph this week. I'm not knocking the police force who used to work for them, but at the moment, the system, not the officers on the ground, not you on the ground. I know you're short on the ground, I know we haven't got enough in Biddulph, but the system has gone wrong, unfortunately. 2 incidents I know of, one was on the phone for over 2 hours to 101, trying to report it. And the other one was on the phone for nearly 3 hours, 101, trying to report the incident. Once the officers turn up, that's okay. And the PCSOs do a sterling job in this town. But the system, I'm afraid, is wrong. It has gone AWOL. And it's doing you no favours. The public are saying, the police, what's the point at the moment? Well, I'm not getting at you. I know you do a good job. It's the system, it's the superiors, the organisation, which has fell apart, I'm afraid to say. To get onto the phone for nearly 3 hours to report an incident, nobody can say that's correct, can they? Nobody. And it's just total frustration. And as you know, there's 3 shops within a few feet of one another, been done in less than 7 days now. And the CCTV on the first one said it was pointing in the wrong direction. I was told this might be wrong. So surely that was turned. Has that been picked up on now with the CCTV, or can't you disclose that at the moment? Thank you.
That's what, sorry.
The 3 incidents in the town, 3 shops have been broken into.
So you said about the CCTV though?
I was told, right, I don't know if it's right or if you're wrong, that the first incident, the camera wasn't pointing down the town. Surely after that, it's been pointing down the town. Has it picked up the others, or can't you say?
I know that one of the incidents has definitely been picked up on the town council CCTV, yes.
Right, okay.
Application district council. CCTV.
Sorry.
Yes,
to
it's a
make-
separate town
I do
council.
apologise. No, that's very far on my part. So yeah, the town council CCTV has captured one of the incidents, yes. Sorry, yeah. That one.
Is it possible to ID the person without going into too much detail?
I think it will be difficult to.
So it's on the blind, please.
But with regards to the CCTV, it's on there. I don't think it would be very difficult to get an identification on that alone.
Yeah, right. Councillor Smith.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been asked by several town centre businesses due to the 3 businesses, obviously in the close proximity on 3 successive nights. They're really concerned that they're going to be targeted next, and they're concerned about insurance and increased costs and all that that's going to come along with it, and paying out for improvements to their own security. They're understandably really quite worried. So just following on from Wayne's question there, Councillor Rogers, sorry. Just any updates you can give us on those attempted break-ins and break-ins, what's being done to prevent any further instances by yourselves? CCTV coverage, if you haven't got CCTV coverage, is that because it's not sufficient in that area? Is this incident going to be grounds enough that we can advocate for more improvements in the town centre? And lastly, I know you had a surgery today downstairs, but because it was during business hours, there were quite a few businesses that then couldn't attend. So they have asked if it's possible for a police presence to maybe go and address businesses directly on the high street and hear out their concerns a little bit and maybe put the minds at.
Got a lot of information.
Sorry,
I might go backwards a little bit. If that's
Absolutely.
okay. So the last point you said about obviously officers going into businesses, yeah, I can ask the PCSOs to attend the local businesses, offer a bit of visibility and some reassurance to the businesses. So I'll get onto that and ask them to do that for us in the week in the daytime. Like you said, businesses are open. Secondly, with regards to the CCTV, again, I don't think I can probably comment too much on CCTV. It's not my area of business. Like I said, some of the incidents have been captured on the CCTV. Like I said, ID is potentially a bit of an issue on some of those, but obviously related into other areas that we are investigative powers, and hopefully we'll be able to marry a few bits up with the CCTV. You'll have to forgive me because I can't remember what the third and first part of your question was.
Yeah, just any updates you can give us on the incidents on the high street and what's being done preventative measures wise to put people's minds that might not occur again.
Yeah, okay. We obviously have the neighbourhood policing team that work out of each of the 3 areas across the north. So obviously you've got a neighbourhood policing team that work out of Biddle. You also want that have your response teams. So obviously most of these incidents are happening in the middle of the night or in the early hours of the night. So we've got officers obviously patrolling the areas at those sorts of times, using the powers of stop search where possible to try and identify, prevent and detect those issues in the crime there. If that answers your question. Sorry, that's some blinding slip away. Anything else?
Any other questions? Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor.
Yes, thank you. Yes, 2 things. Obviously, it's very long with the people who've been victims of crime, especially as compounded by the fact that they're not living in their premises, so they're not there to protect, so they go home and feel. They don't know it's okay in the morning, they haven't got the dreaded call at night. Can you please, as a request, can you please ensure that the PCSOs visit on a regular basis to give reassurance and updates directly to them to see what's going on. And the other thing is that there was certainly a lot of comment about 2 motorcycles being seen in the area in close proximity at the time. That they were being stolen motorbikes. There was 1 motorbike which was left abandoned behind one of the shops, which potentially you can put a story together and say 2 lads on motorbikes, stolen or whatever, break into the shop, can't carry it on the motorbikes, or 1 motorbike with the newer one down.
We've got APNR cameras. Are we looking at the APNR cameras just to pick up number plates and things and just to monitor
AMPR just.
AMPR, just
Yeah.
to monitor, people going in and movements going in?
Obviously, that is all part of any investigation, stolen motor vehicle or anything like that. So yeah, that would be something that we.
And is there an investigation going on with the abandoned motorbike which is there? And does there appear to be a link to that in this incident, or is that a separate thing? Or can't you say at this stage? I'm sorry if I got.
I think you've kind of got to treat them as separate but potentially linked. So, yeah, I couldn't confirm for sure because I don't know. They are both being investigated as separate incidents at the moment. But potentially.
One final thing with regard to AMPR cameras, we're having a bit of issue with the cars meeting late at night and revving up and racing around the Malays car park. Just slightly out of town.
Yeah.
Whether that is displacement because of the proactive work which is being done on Sainsbury's where they were having car meets and things, I don't know. But if the area adjacent to there is covered by AMPR cameras, and if we get it reported and send it through to you, is there any chance of seeing if there's any common sort of themes, especially with previous registrations which have been logged, because it is showing some concern for the residents up towards Mill Hayes?
Yeah. Obviously, like I said, we've got a neighbourhood policing team and response teams out and about on top of that. So yeah, they should be proactively targeting those areas.
Yeah, if you can make them aware of that particular car park, would be appreciated.
You've mentioned that other patrols on the area. Oh yeah, come in and have a look at the place, check it over. How much time do they spend out of the car swinging on door handles?
Sorry, say that again.
How much time do they spend out of the car checking the property?
Police officers.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the milkman. So, how much time do they spend?
As long as it's
As long as it takes.
Shall we close on that one, Jill?
you. There was an incident last night up on Woodland Street with kids throwing eggs, clearly caught on CCTV, but have faces covered. Is there any update on that? Have they been ID'd or anything?
Not that I know of, no. I've only started this afternoon on tour duty. So I would want, I think my understanding is that officers earlier on in the day have attended. To my knowledge, there's been no ID on that one at the moment, but I know that we're looking into trying to identify those responsible.
And then it was mentioned earlier on about waiting for 101. If I saw two kids zooming up and down on motorbikes, I might want to bring 101 because they might not be wearing helmets, or, you know, it might be really late at night and the young kids, but I wouldn't bring 101 to sit on the line for 3 hours. So I wouldn't report it. What would you advise residents to do? Because they're not calling 101 because they're waiting for 3 hours. Some residents are not familiar with the use of IT, and therefore they wouldn't potentially log it online. And that form we've discussed before is quite convoluted and a waste of time because it directs you through questions that aren't relevant. Should our residents ring 999?
999 is for incidents that are happening there and then, and if they feel there's any violence or danger to anybody involved. So I think you could potentially justify from what you've just said, if someone's riding up and down without a helmet or something like that, then potentially, yes, you could justify a 999 call. It might depend, the response that you get might depend on obviously our demand at that point. But yes, someone will come out to you.
And what about the person that observed throwing the eggs at windows? Because there was no one in danger there.
No.
But if police officers turned up then, rather than sitting on the phone for 2 hours, they've long gone within 2 hours. But if they rung 999, should they have rung 999 then?
I think it would be hard to justify 999 on that incident because they are not, I wouldn't say that anyone was particularly in danger at that.
And that's the problem, isn't it? And this is about the system being broken again. We could have caught those kids committing antisocial behaviour, whatever you want to call it, if there was a way to get in contact with the police within that kind of 10-minute window. But the fact is, we can't within a 10-minute window, and those kids get away with it. They get away with it again. Before you know it, they're breaking into shops in a few years' time. People just seem to be getting away with stuff, and that's the most frustrating thing. And this isn't directed at you. But I think it's just venting our frustration. As a town council, we're absolutely powerless. And we look to you and we look to the powers that be above you to kind of fix our society that at the moment seems to be quite broken. And actually, there's nothing our residents can do. These kids are literally, for want of a better expression, getting away with murder. And it's just outrageous. We've just got no way of contacting the police immediately unless there's something significant happening. And that's just not good. And then, if you can pass this back to Ben Adams crops up on Biddle Chatter Facebook page, telling us all how he wants us to vote for him. Yet he's seen all this stuff on Biddle Chatter, or his team have, about all these incidents that have gone on in the town, and he hasn't even dared to raise his head, despite being on there 2 hours before. It's just, from the police's point of view, the trust and faith in the police force in Biddle is absolutely shattered. It really is, and it's such a shame. And it's not directed at you. The whole system from top to bottom is just broken. It's just broken. So please pass that back to Ben Adams, because I think people are really, really upset that he can pop up on Facebook and tell us to vote for him, but he can't address people's concerns when 3 shops have been broken into, a property's been egged, there's a murder happened. It's just disgusting, and that's not aimed at you.
Kevin, I believe you want to speak, and then it's John.
Probably picking up from where Jill sort of left off, really. I mean, I spent half an hour looking at social media before this meeting. And quite frankly, some of the comments that are coming on there are very worrying. There's talk of vigilante, people thinking, I know who it is, and we could go and get this person. No names were mentioned, and that sort of talk is dangerous. And also, the low esteem that business owners and residents in the town have got of your police force. I mean, reputationally, your reputation is being damaged by loads and loads there, and not aiming this at officers. The system itself is for 2 to 3 hours. I've done one myself. I've also tried to fill the stupid forms myself. I'll give you a little, for instance, on the form. I think I've said this one before. It asks your date of birth. and then it asks you how old you are. Now, there's detectives in there looking at that. Now, they should be able to pick up. This is how stupid, some of the, just a small instance, just a small little thing. But it's worrying that people are beginning to have less and less faith in your police force. And it should be that we're proud of our police force and our officers. I'm sure, we are. When we need you, you should be there. And at the moment, it seems to me, and certainly a lot of people using, the keyboard warriors and what have you. And I don't put a lot of store in what people say on Facebook, but when loads and loads and loads of people are saying a similar sort of thing, it's got to have some sort of traction that people are not happy with how our town is actually being policed at the moment. And please, if you take that back, we had a meeting with bed downstairs. We had another spell of antisocial behaviour and criminal activity, and that sort of died down a little bit. Sainsbury's has been a pain in the backside as far as police is concerned for a long time now, and it doesn't get put at the bud. And as Jill says, some of these people that are throwing eggs today are doing other stuff tomorrow and the week after and the month after that, and then they become teenagers and older. Because they get away with it earlier on. And then, I've got away with that one. And they will push the envelope out until eventually they do something that somebody does get seriously hurt. And I do worry about that. And let's say I'm really not getting on at the officers. You're working under incredibly difficult circumstances. You're very thin on the ground. In fact, you're too thin on the ground. And I've always said, if you spread the butter too thin, you can't even taste the butter. It's not worth having a slice of bread. So the basic, and that's government stuff, and it's funding for the police and all the rest of it. But however, things are not right in this town at this moment in time. To have 3 burglaries, not to be the same people, not to be. And why did they do the second one? Because they got away with the first one. Why did they do the third one? Because they got away with the first one and the second one. Thank you,
Kev. John, you want to speak?
Just quickly, Mr. Mayor.
And we'll wind it up.
I just say thanks for coming along.
Thank you.
I think we're ranting at the wrong people.
Yeah, no.
We are, and I'm sure you're as frustrated about it. We are. All I would say is, there's an election in a couple of weeks. You know what we should do, don't we? Let's face it, Ben Adams has been a waste of time and his predecessor wasn't much better. So, let's vote.
Thank you, John. I'd like to thank you both for coming along. Can you keep your eye on Southview? The kids are kicking on people's doors again.
It's a football game.
So that, go on then.
No, all I will say is,
You can't run off yet.
all I wanted to say is today was a police surgery, but there is a police surgery every second Tuesday of the month. It wasn't arranged specifically because of this. It happens every month, people who want to. So watching us on YouTube, they can always come on a second Tuesday in the afternoon, and police will talk at different times as well. But that option is always available.
Definitely the last one.
Just very quickly, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I think there was a bit of miscommunication via social media over the police surgery. Yes, there was. You weren't there. You'd gone. There was a post put on social media by someone. It was quite accurate. And as far as I'm aware, it's been taken down since. But yeah, we know the surgery wasn't set up specifically for these incidents, but someone in the town thought it was. That's what that was all about.
Well, guys, again, thank you very much for coming. We do respect you, honestly.
I get frustrated a lot. Thank you.
Right, so, we did suspend standing orders. We're now back to normal. It's reinstated the normal rule. 5 minutes each. We got Staffordshire County Council. No, I don't know. This chap here can speak for 5 minutes or 5 minutes.
I turn first,
Yeah,
isn't it?
only 5.
I turn first, right, okay. I've got 4 very, very quick things to mention. Top Road, discussed it at the HB. It's sort of primarily shared between me and Keith with a very small little bit of Jill. There is, it turns out, a statutory issue about going over to stop signs. So as an interim, What I put funding into, which is completely emptied my war chest, is that the signs which approach it with the crossroad signs on are going to be replaced with the new ones, which have got great big yellow square board, make it very obvious. I have asked if we can put white lines down there, but it doesn't meet the criteria being a derestricted road as it happens. They have cut back all the hedges and the verges, and they showed me pictures and a video, 360 of the lines aside. They were very defensive. So I'm confident that there will be a significant improvement. Longer term, and it does need funding and an application for funding, they need to apply to the Home Secretary's office to get the regulation changed, because it's fixed as a regulation as a giveaway at this moment in time. And that costs a lot of money. The price we quoted at was between 11,000 and 15,000 pounds by the time it does it. So we're doing what we can as a short-term fix. Hopefully that'll show some differences. We're also going to see if we can have a look at the Google Maps sat-nav directions, because we believe that the sat-nav is saying when you're in Horton, turn left in 2.7 miles, which means that it's not recognising there's a junction to put a stop at. So people listening to that, they're not expecting to see the junction. So that's where we are on that.
It's last schedule, by the way.
Last schedule. Yeah, that covered that road, last schedule. You know what I meant, road. The other thing, which is an announcement, is that lobbying from the Staffordshire County Council Climate Group, working group, is that in the last budget, there wasn't £1 million set aside for the new Staffordshire Forest. Now, it would appear that Staffordshire hasn't got a lot, Staffordshire County Council doesn't own a lot of land to do that. We've got to have discussions on where it goes. So there may be an opportunity in the future for collaboration between the district and town councils to do some significant tree planting, which has got a degree of funding there. £1 million sounds a lot. It's like a thin layer of margarine spread around the county, but I know we're very proactive, so we can possibly do something there. And we also had quite a significant scrutiny session on the new digital strategy and the customer experience. You know my feeling about calling residents customers, but the reality of it is that it's the evolution to seeing if we can be a little bit slicker in the way that the county respond to inquiries, whether primarily through the digital platform, which is through the internet and whatever, how they get answers quicker, how they can get search terms more precise to what they want to do. And obviously it will involve an evolution with artificial intelligence, as you can imagine. But it all seemed actually quite positive, but we are holding the feet to the fire, and we are insisting, like we have done at Staffordshire Moorlands, that there is also that human-to-human interface where needed, because there's a significant demographic of our residents who cannot access through the digital medium, and that was stressed very importantly. But as we inferred at the moment, there's not a lot of other activity going on to report because of the Police and Crime Commissioner elections, which are coming up in the next 3 weeks.
Thank you very much. Have we got any questions? No, thank you. Keith?
Your time, so.
So, yeah. Okay. Thanks very much. Yeah. With regard to what happened with Louise, I do think there's something we can have a look at on that as well, and I'll be supportive of that. And I think it relates to some projects and things I'm doing elsewhere, so some of that information would be useful coming forward and sharing with the group, not necessarily in meetings, but certainly something that we could arrange in relation to the residents group, which I am going to try and arrange a date with Sarah with. I think we've arranged one date. We hope it's clear for everyone else, but we'll find out. Fishing club details in relation to the car park at Knifesley. I've now passed that data on not only to the officer involved, but also to the guy Paul who runs the fishing club, and he's aware of what's going on at the moment. So I've done as much as I can do on that now. We just have to wait for the summer and the consultation, which I hope will take place in this room. Working with the Beadle Youth Zone and trying to reduce their energy bills. I'm trying to send emails around on that at the moment. I haven't got much response currently, but again, it's another area that myself and Nigel might be able to work on in that respect. In terms of the DHP and everything else, trying to rearrange the meeting, as I said already, but also haven't had too many issues in relation to anything at the moment in roads around my patch, I must say. And some of the temporary fillings I've been hearing have been coming out, so I will progress what I can do and make sure that any temporary situations are hopefully going to become more permanent as time goes on. Because I'm fed up with the same scenario, particularly around junctions is something that I've been looking at within other areas of my division. In terms of the committees I'm on at the moment, Health Committee, we've had visits to the mental health, as I reported at the last meeting, but we had a comparison meeting this morning to look at notes and ideas and suggestions to be able to try and sort that out. That's something I know that members here are very interested in, to find out about the services regarding to mental health issues. The hospital declared an emergency for 1 or 2 days. I don't know who of you picked up on that, but they did for a moment, and they've now got back to normal. There is a new director of children's services.
Less of an emergency.
Yes.
Thank you, John.
I'm just reporting on what the information I get from obviously being on the health committee. So the new director of children's services, which relates back to corporate parenting, but also the send information moment, is a lady called Bernie Brown, and so she's now started work at the county council. Some of you may come across her in the future. We had a whole report come in about the send scenario and trying to improve the services there after their audit recently, and that came strangely enough to the audit and accounts committee, not to the health committee or to anything else, which I was a bit surprised at. There's a new financial control officer that's now starting as well. The Family Improvement Board reported on the idea of making sure that people who are out of work at the moment become more employable, and the employable skills training has in fact been achieved, being quite good across the whole of the county at the moment, and in fact I think it won a prize. So I think that's about it at the moment. I'll leave it there because I've only got 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Keith. Have we got any questions? Councillor Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would have addressed this to Nigel, but as you all know, I believe our new potholes are. Well, I'll address it to you. All of the repairs that were done between Robin Hill and the end of Chapel Lane that were done about 4 or 5 months, 3 or 4 months ago, I'm sure that all of them have fell out, and it's as bad as ever it was.
Do you mind if I answer that?
Go on.
We are getting, as part of the cancelled HS2 faux dividend, some allocated funding for doing Cat 3 repairs, and I've requested that New Street has done from Robin Hill to Chapel Lane, and this time we've insisted that it's going to be done with the road planer, which actually takes it up, and then you have a proper new surface put on. So that is the game. What actually failed, what happened is that the repairs were okay. It's the bits between the repairs that popped out. Some of it, I can imagine. But yeah, we were underwhelmed by the effort they put in last year, I must admit.
And there's actually one on over the hill that a company are trying to do helicopter tours around it because it's so deep.
There is a particular issue with that one, which is related to the fact that it happened over the winter during some heavy rain, and it's washed away the subsurface underneath. It was an emergency. It wasn't an emergency. It was an emergency repair. And they are actually a little bit wondering how they're going to actually resolve it, because they think they may need to get Severn Trent involved, because it's right adjacent to that triangular grid, isn't it?
I know you're doing your best.
Right, thank you, Sean.
Can we turn it into a reservoir? We're going to be short of water.
Just interested that you mentioned the send audits. Wouldn't mind having a little bit of a look at what the results of that send audit are, because we've still got people in Biddulph that are absolutely screaming out for waiting for send assessments that have passed a certain period where they should have had an assessment, then they're missing school places, not getting school places at all. So I'd be interested to know what the audit results are, and interested to know what the new boss in charge is planning on doing about that. I'm not entirely sure. They're not.
Should be on the audit and accounts committee details, and that is a recorded meeting, so you should be able to see it all on there. And the notes that they spoke to should be on the county council website. If it's not, let me know and I'll see what I can do for you. But just to back up on that one, there is a meeting arranged at Biddulph High School in relation to all this issue that we've been working with now between ourselves and other members here as well. regarding SEND. So I'm hoping to have that meeting towards the end of April. Nigel will be around at that meeting as well. So I'm expecting some news. I don't know if it'll be exactly the good news that we're all waiting for, but certainly there'll be some news coming by the end of April. So in about 2 weeks' time. Okay.
Any other councillors welcome to attend the meeting at Biddulph High School?
Not at the moment, no. It's purely just the county council and Senate. Yeah, and it will come back. And if there is a need for a meeting, I will suggest that we'll do that.
Thank you.
Jim,
So the repairs have been done on the A527 on the way out of Biddulph down towards Brindley Ford. It looks like they've been done to Staffordshire Moorland side, and then they've neglected the bits at the Stoke side. You did promise us that you'd work with Stoke-on-Trent City Council. Have you? What they said? What have those discussions been? Because the Staffordshire Moorlands bit is great, but like literally 50 centimetres and you've got some craters. So what have the discussions been? Can you update us? Thank you.
Oh, mine shows. Do you know any tips for that?
It's just all markups.
I don't know how involved they got with the conversations. Certainly that's something that has been approached, and I've certainly brought it up in the past. But obviously the order is somewhere, and I'm disappointed that we can't proceed with that. So I'll try and bring it up with my counterpart. Now I've got this position cabinet, that's something I can have a go at. So just what I will do.
Marvellous, because it is the main route, the arterial route.
Yes, I know.
So it's really important that it gets sorted.
Just one observation on that, the county, as opposed to Stoke-on-Trent, haven't actually completed the job. They had to abandon part of it because of the amount of water coming from under the ground. So they do have to revisit part of their section. They did about, they were saying they did about 60% of what they were trying to achieve, but they did a significant 60%. What always worries me is border country because it's less relevant for their residents. I always think Danny Bankers, do Chester East really care when he delivers people to Biddulph? I don't know. So,
the hours are to speak to their side.
Yeah.
I'm sure our county councillors will look at this.
I will take the comment.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on, guys. Councillors, thank you very much, Keith, for that.
Yes, thank you.
If we turn over, we have got apologies. Have we got any apologies?
Just Councillor Hawley this evening.
Oh, yeah. Right. The next one is
Just a point of clarification on that. Councillor Parks did text me to say he's not feeling very well, he can't come. And I did say, you need to send an email to you, obviously. There may be one waiting for you, but I don't know. Obviously, I don't think we have, but I did do that, so.
That's fine. Thank you.
That's just the two of them. There's nobody else, is there? Right, we go on number 111, declaration of interests. Disclosure pecuniary interests and dispensations. Anybody? No. The next one is to declare any other disclosable interests. Anyone? Jill.
Councillor Thunder mentioned the youth and community zone, of which both Connor and I are trustees. So I think that needs recording for this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Yeah. Okay, item 112 are the minutes. Doing a roll?
Yes, section A, to approve and sign the minutes of the town council meeting held on Tuesday, the 12th of March, 2024. I will just go through the headlines for the purposes of anybody listening. Present, in attendance, 95 public participation. Apologies, 96 declarations of interest, 97 minutes, 98 mayor's communications. We have had a communication to do the title, so no privilege. 99 standing agenda items, 100 to receive an update in outside body meetings. 101, a item requested specifically by Councillor Salt. Are you happy with that? Item 102, item requested by Councillor Hall, tonight. Item 103, the note that the chief officer was chair of the Staffordshire branch of the Society of Local Chief Clerks. Item 104, the note the town council has been shortlisted for Let's Celebrate Towns programme. Item 105, accounts and finance. In confidential items, confirm customer support should progress. 7, to receive the barrister's advice in relation to Biddulph and Blue. I have a proposal for those minutes. Opposed? Outlook. Moving on to receive the minutes.
Do you want a show of hands?
Oh, show of hands.
Thank you. Please.
Receive the minutes of the Recreation and Committee meeting held on Tuesday, 12th of March, 2024. Present in attendance. 64 apologies, 65 declarations of interest, 66 minutes, 67 update on footpath projects, 68 update on memorial testing at the burial ground, 69 jobs for landsmen, onto confidential items, 70 costs associated with the new Garden of Remembrance, and 71 to consider land opportunities within the town. We're happy with those. Can we have a proposed, please?
Mr. Jones.
Councillor Jones, can we have a seconder? Councillor Brady, can we have a show of hands? All through? Excellent. Item C, to receive the minutes of the planning committee meeting.
I move it on behalf of councillor Hawley, please, Chair.
Okay. Held on Tuesday, 19th March 2024. Present in attendance, 78 apologies, 79 declarations of interest, 80 previous minutes, 81 standing items to consider any pro sites for local listing. Item 2, to consider task information in relationship to the upgrade of a public footpath at Gunbattery Lane. 83, to note that the neighbourhood plan implementation working group meeting will be held on the 8th of April. 84, consider date for neighbourhood plan training. 85, new applications. 86 supplementary applications, and that concluded the minutes of the meeting. So councillor Darby has proposed.
I don't think I can propose them because there is, I wasn't present at the meeting. I was moving on behalf of councillor Hawley, who asked me to do that for him at this. Yeah, okay, there is actually, it says that I was in attendance, but I actually wasn't. I gave my apologies.
Can we amend that? Can we have a second, please? Councillor Jackson, can we have a show of hands?
Who should propose this one?
Me.
Proposers. We've had a show of hands, so those have been approved. You see them in?
Just on a similar point of order, I think councillor Proudwell seconded the minutes of the town council meeting, but I don't think he was in attendance at that meeting.
Good shout, thank you.
Can we have another second, please, for the town council minutes? Who was there? Councillor Redfern. That's one way of doing it.
To get your ignorance.
Okay, to receive the minutes of the Town and Community Committee meeting held on Tuesday, 19th of March, 2000.
Ask me to move those minutes, please. I chaired that particular meeting.
And wasn't that planning?
There wasn't it planning, we were proposing. Can we have a proposer who was actually at planning? Councillor Jackson and Councillor Jones, whoever hasn't.
Councillor Jones proposed.
Councillor Jackson second.
Either way round.
That'll do. Thank you.
Fantastic job.
Thank you.
I wish you'd pay attention to that. You've got to, next month, you've got to be.
Oh, well, it takes up, well, every day.
Receive the minutes of the Town and Community Committee meeting held on Tuesday, 19th March 2024. So present in attendance, apologies, declarations of interest, 68 minutes, 69 to confirm that the CCTV working group will take place on Friday, 22nd of March. Question, item 70, item requested by Councillor Smith to consider accessibility of town council services for Beth community. Item 71 to consider Biddulph Works Together project recommendations. Item 72 to confirm arrangements with regard to the current environment and climate change consultation. 73 to receive a verbal update on the financial inclusion group event held on the 15th of March 2024. Item 74 to receive a verbal update on 2024 events in confirmation of key dates. Item 75 to receive an update on the Friday Night Film Club starting in April 2024. And item 76 to discuss ideas to mark the town's 50th anniversary. And that concludes that particular meeting. Any comments? I'll have a proposer. Can I have a second, please? Is anybody there?
Really wasn't.
I think that
Really,
Councillor Lawton has seconded that. Can we have a show of hands to accept those, please?
even the noise you're on, wasn't
Finally, to approve
It's finance.
the minutes
it? Oh,
of
finance.
Yeah, it's finance.
finance. It says town council, but it's actually finance. Minutes of finance.
Those minutes, please, Mr Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Present, in attendance, apologies, declarations of interest, previous minutes,
I propose to accept that.
85 accounts matters, 86 budget, 87 audit, 88 asset management, 89 reserves, 90 to receive an update on the UK Share Prosperity Fund, 91 consider a draft of the Town Council 5-year strategy, 92 policy review, 93 standing agenda items, 94 confidential items, consider the management of piece of land in Biddle, 95 to approve memorial testing quotations, 96 to consider a request for a grant, 97 to receive an update on the funding for the miners' lamps reinstatements, 98 to consider arrangements for the release of the photocopy, 99 to consider an email in relation to the Biddle community officer, 100 to receive an update on funds received from town council tenants, 101 quotations which were tabled at the meeting, and there's various quotations there, 102 issues around staffing, items, heads of terms for the district centre. That's the sort of done.
Councillor Salt.
Yeah, one of the items on the miners' lamps is still in confidential. Does that mean that we still can't announce it? Or is it now it's been approved tonight, those minutes, can we? Thank you.
Social media.
Yes.
Will you ask our questions, Gillian?
Right.
Point.
Can I suggest at this moment in time, we don't say anything? It'll be a pleasant surprise when they are done, just in case there shouldn't be an echo. But just in case there is a problem, there shouldn't be, I know, but I don't want footfalls.
Sad about being.
Hang on, this is causing debate now.
Should just pause for the time being.
No,
Council.
disagree, Mr Mayor. We've got.
Yeah, we.
Point of clarification, the money's been allocated by Mourners Partnership Board and this town council. It's been agreed at the finance committee. We've just approved the minutes. So what's the secret? It's in the public domain.
It'll be all over Facebook, won't it?
What?
No problem.
Oh, what are we doing?
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. We're supposed to be just approving minutes at the moment. We want to have a separate item for this. It's your discretion. Well, at the moment, we're approving minutes.
We're community.
Yeah, I'll put this particular issue onto the community. That's all right with yourself?
Can I, as an agenda item for next week's town community then, can we approve each to sharing the information? Make sure we're all sharing the same information and we've got the design apps sorted as regards what we're saying about. Is that?
Yes. We move it on town and community.
I agree it should go out, but that's not what we're talking about at the moment. It should go out. It's a public domain. We're not talking about it.
Yeah. Having a job hearing and a job seeing, so.
Put it on town and community. That's it.
It's on town and community.
113 Mayor's communication.
Right, 113, which is Mayor's Commons. Go on, proposing it.
Just, can we have a seconder for the finance minutes, please? Councillor Smith, can we have a show of hands to accept those minutes?
Okay, Mayor.
Mr Deputy Mayor, we are approving those minutes, not accepting. These are an approval rather than a receipt.
Okay, well, my week, what started, I went up to Biddleford where, as you most probably aware, Mrs. May finished, was there, teacher there, after goodness knows how many years. 30. It's a lot of years for anybody. It was well attended by the parents and obviously the children. And I think it was a good afternoon. And there we go. So that was Mrs. May, and I wish her all the very best. I'm sure we all wish her the very best. Apparently she's going travelling, so, that's very good. A few nights ago, there was an event at Leek Cricket Club, hosted by the mayor of, Leek. We went there and exchanged views. I actually saw Jim dancing, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. See him dancing with the deputy. I think they were happy, let's put it that way. I'll leave it at that. In addition, of course, I was very pleased. Again, the deputy mayor, we went to the Biddulph Male Voice Choir, which was held downstairs. It's in Memorial. Sorry?
David Wally.
Yeah, to Dave Wally. Some of you may know him from the family from the paper shop as was. So, that was a really cracking night. Well attended. And it was well attended by Biddulph councillors as well. So thank you for those who attended, and particularly Nigel on the front row with Mandy, showing the flag. So that's it. I'll leave it at that. I dare say there's one I've missed out, and I'll get a pick up the backside, but there we go. The next one is standing out the agenda items. Yeah, go for it.
So, 14 standing agenda items. Section 8, to receive an update on management of town council assets.
Before Jill asks whether there's going to be a survey done in relation to RAC, it's happening on Thursday. I'm not sure actually necessarily whether that's a good thing or not, but as I understand it, it'll be a very thorough process, and they'll take a number of samples from the building, take them away, come up with essentially what the issues are. Hopefully there won't be any, but that at least gives us a. So Thursday this week.
Matt Trafford, speak through that. Speak too much.
Yes, he's put me in contact with.
Right. Charlie?
Sorry.
Well, come on, girls.
Okay, we've had another instance of antisocial behaviour at the toilets down there, coincides with young people being on holiday. It's quite beneficial having CCTV in that entrance now, because I can see an enormous water fight and they're all having a very, very jolly time. And I don't know if it's those individuals, but certainly that resulted in the hand dryer being kicked off the wall and a number of panels being removed and a lot of mess and a lot of water. So we've had to have the electrician out as a matter of urgency just to check the dryer and to reposition it to the wall, make it kind of vandal proof. And I've obviously done what we tell everybody to do, and I've reported that to the police. So they've requested the CCTV images, and we'll see what happens with that. We have, I have to say, very good town council CCTV images, so that's very nice. The roof continues to be an issue down there at the toilet block. It leaks like a sieve, and people keep coming and fixing bits of it, but it's very wet inside. And you can see it dripping from the ceiling. So we continue to pursue that with the district council. Essentially, it needs a roofer rather than somebody who goes up and gives it a brush. So I shall continue to push for that, just to keep you aware of that.
With regards to the damage, etc., I know you reported it to the police. Did we get a crime complaint number?
Yeah, always.
You got one?
Yeah.
Splendid. Councillor Smith?
Just regarding the visitor centre, are we in a position yet where we can start reopening conversations with potential tenants?
Nowhere near. Well, we've approved through the minutes now. We've sorted out the heads of terms. It will depend now how long it takes that licence, lease document, whatever that looks like, to come from the legal team, and that at the moment is what the sticking point is for the district. It's the legal process. So we'll just have to wait for that to come through.
Councillor Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just quickly say that visitor centre, I don't know if we're responsible for it on the existing terms of the lease. So I know we will be when we get the new one, but the gutter is broken. But you know, the sort of canopy over where the toilet doors are.
Yeah.
the gutter is broken there, and it's been broken for quite a while. It's almost making a crater with the drain. Can we have a quick look at that? Just, it probably just wants clips put in back.
I've asked a number of times if somebody would have a look at that, and somebody has.
Right, at the moment, it's SMDC.
No, it's us.
It is us. We,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, well, I need to do that.
I need to find somebody who can do that.
The gutter man, do we?
Well, I need somebody.
That's me outside.
Anyone who knows anybody who could do jobs like that, that'd be really helpful.
Okay. I'll be there on Sunday.
Yeah, sorry, right, I was switching up.
Next one.
Listening.
To receive an update on health and safety activities, including risk management.
I've sort of rolled the two issues in together there. The roof, I think, is a significant health and safety issue at the toilet block. There's no pressing concerns here. We've got some snagging work with the fire door work that was done. They've made quite a number of changes to the fire doors, so we've just got some that close much too quickly and some that don't close quickly enough. There's that kind of work that's going on. And we've got, in the next week or so, we've got some boiler activity going on. It's compliant with our kind of servicing requirements there. The stage lighting will be serviced. We've taken the view that actually, and through the finance committee, it's better to do a full service of our stage lighting on an annual basis, which includes PAT testing. So that checks all of the fixings and how it's all attached to the ceiling. So that's taking place in a couple of weeks, as are our asbestos reports across our assets. So those things are all booked in. So that's probably enough for now, I think. Need to book Councillor Holes with him for his next stage of stuff.
I've heard he's a bit grim. I don't know. Would the Christmas lights come under that?
Christmas lights?
Yeah, that would hang up. Up checking and all this sort of stuff.
They're all done by the contractor.
Right.
That's part of the contract.
So we're free then,
Yeah.
right, thank you.
And finally, to receive an update on the Biddle Works Together project.
A couple of updates just on the kind of periphery of this project, really. I've had a conversation today with a chap from Glasgow Caledonian University, and Councillor Salted had some discussions with them as well. They're part of the Scottish Poverty and Inequality Research Unit, and the aim is to eradicate poverty, and they're really interested in our Biddle project and the work that Jill and her team have done. So we've had some conversations from a kind of town council perspective, what that looks like today. And I kind of talked his legs off, really, but he was really impressed with the work that we as a town council had done. So he's going to pull something together based on what he's read and the conversations he's had. And he's obviously done a lot of research on us as well. So he's been all over our website, which was quite gratifying.
Yes.
And he's going to pull something together, which he's going to let us have sight of before it then goes into their publications. It tells everyone how marvellous we are. So that's really positive. You should all have had an email about a session that we're running on the 17th, Wednesday the 17th. So we've been asked by the Connected Communities organisation to pilot one of their training sessions. It's called Talk, Listen, Connect. So if you just run through your emails and just check that you've seen that. It's in the afternoon because it's aimed at, obviously, more than Commonwealth councils who are available, but it's aimed at the staff here and in other organisations that work with people who might be experiencing a range of different issues. It's methods of kind of how to talk to them, and it should be really beneficial, actually, and it's very much a more the merrier. And I have invited all the members of the Biddle Works Together group as well. So quite a number of them are attending, so that should be quite a nice event to pull us all together and share some experiences there.
Very important event.
Thank you.
115.
Go on, Nigel.
115, to receive an update on outside body meetings attended since March 2024. Have we had any outside body meetings? No.
Was partnership, but I was ill, so I wasn't able to go. I had a flu bug, so I didn't want to pass it on to anybody else. So somebody else will have to fill in with that one, I'm afraid.
I went to that one, but that was just the money for the lamps. That one, so you already know about that. So
Okay, moving on to 116 accounts and finance to approve accounts to be paid in April 2024. If we go down the headlines, if there's anything which one's querying, please put your hand up clearly. Expenditure over £500. Expenditure less than £500. Okay. To approve supplementary accounts, if there are any to be tabled.
I think they have been tabled. Have you got those in front of you or was it on?
No.
I've not got them.
I've got nothing. Well, that doesn't mean much.
Okay, so supplementary accounts, there's 2 pages. Expenditure over £500. We all had a chance to look through those.
Yeah.
And expenditure less than £500. And down at the bottom, there is a credit card as well.
Move it, Chair.
So moved by councillor Hart, seconded by councillor Rogers.
Jones.
Jones.
Jones. Put down before he said something, but. Show of hands, please. Okay, that's accepted.
On that one, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Now, you've accepted these, we're actually going to do the first Unity Bank transfers tomorrow. Now you've accepted, so how that one works. Thank you.
Well done. Is that it? Right, well, councillors, the meeting is now closed. Thank you very much.